got to know your role. And knowing your role is knowing the strength that you have and like how you bring that to whatever team you're on. So that's knowing your 1 and your 1A. So for like homework, you got to understand what's your 1 and what's your 1A and be real honest with yourself. The second thing is KYP. You got to know your personnel. Know who to get, know who to get the ball to, when to get them the ball, and where to get them the ball. And then the third thing is just what's your personal value level, right? Like what value do you bring to each situation that you're in? Now, because you can talk the basketball language and you understand things, again, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you do that, now it makes basketball so much easier. Because where everybody else trying to get in where they fit in, y'all are creating your own lane.
Told you so.
I think the biggest opportunities that we have is with the youth in terms of connecting mind and body. And, the Egyptians had a saying, know thyself. And sport is the only place where you really have an opportunity to connect mind and body as one. When you go into the schools or you go into the educational system, they're either teaching you from the neck up, or some coaches right now are only teaching from the neck down. When we talk about the game, we only talk about it from the neck down. But when you think about what it takes to read a defense, to make a basketball play, to jump up in the air, make a split-second decision, less than a split-second decision, to read it, to process it, a lot of times they say that's instinct. Well, we're not animals, right? So we don't have instinct. Some people process and think faster. And what you're doing in terms of sport and repetition is you making sure that you're teaching that young individual how to connect mind and body. And therefore, you're teaching him or her how to understand and know themselves. And once they learn and understand how to know themselves, trust themselves, and feel that energy that's moving throughout their body, then they can go out into society and feel confident. So if you're not teaching the game of life,
right,
and you're only teaching basketball,
right,
then you're not coaching.
right.
Because the way I was brought up, I was taught the game of life.
Absolutely.
Through the game of basketball.
Yep.
Told you so.
Who in the country got a player walk in that hall
Yeah.
that's better than everybody on that team?
Yep.
And they never understand why they're not playing.
Yeah.
And it probably started, say, for like a high school kid, if you ask them, oh, well, freshman year, I messed up on my grades or this or that.
Yep.
Well, now after you messed up on your grades, then you went to the street. So now that your whole attitude changed from wanting to be an athlete to now you want to be out here and you want to be a hot boy.
Yep.
And so now the coach then got a totally different perspective of you. So now sophomore year, you don't try out. Now junior year, when, you really popping, you want to play, coach ain't going to deal with you. Senior year, you like, man, it's my last year. But then go back to freshman year, all because of, or I've seen kids literally from elementary school, like, oh, what happened? Well, I, wasn't eligible 5th grade. And then, 6th grade, I got in trouble right prior to tryouts. Well, all that goes hand in hand. So I don't necessarily want to work with a superstar. And I have players that, former players that's playing overseas, that's played on NBA rosters, I can create those players to get there. I don't necessarily need that person that think that they're a superstar, if that makes sense.
Nah, I don't like them be the ones that like they think they know too much.
Right.
And I tell them, if you know so much, then why am I here? Like,
why am I here? If you know all that, why am I here? So therefore, now when we're talking about that average player that's under the radar, that has the potential to be something, but those are the players. And the reason why I do what I do, because those are often the players, they only need a little tweak in the athletic side. The biggest thing is off the court. And with going back to that, recruitment diagram, that attitude, it all goes back. So I can, tweak your jump shot, or I can, tweak your Euro step or whatever you do to get to the basket, your ball handling. We can fix that a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's not the reason why you're not on the team. Exactly. Right? We already identified that you're probably better than everybody on the team.
Mm-hmm.
But what else is holding you back from the team? And my job as a coach is, can I put the proper strategies in place to help you understand and get it there before it's too late?
Yeah.
Oh, my man, TJ, I appreciate you. So welcome to Lunch and Learn. I'm Coach Carvel Bailey. Welcome to another episode of Lunch and Learn. Can you hear me, Coach? Is that good, TD? Is that good? So on the show is being brought to you by Bless the Ball Skill Development Academy, as well as Bless the Ball Consulting, where we help high school basketball players get recruited, even if they are not five-star athletes, by improving their mindset to then improve their skill set. So I wanted to come back on today because I got a lot of feedback. Okay, perfect. I got a lot of feedback from the class that I taught yesterday, right? Just about why athletes fall off, right? I got a lot of feedback. A lot of parents said, that's great information, but how do we as a parent, how do I as a mom, or how do I as a dad be able to identify that and be able to recognize that in those individuals that, our kids work with? How do we make sure that we're with the right individuals? How do we make sure that we're with the right team, we're with the right coach, we're with the right company? So, the first thing that I will say is you have to be aware, right? The first thing is awareness. And then the second thing is you have to understand where it is that you want for your student athlete to go. But I wanted to come back on today because, again, if you didn't catch the class yesterday, you definitely want to go back and catch that wherever you're watching this, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you may see it at whatever particular time you may see it. But again, looking at my notes, so we talked about the principles. Reason that athletes fall off during the season because there's no time for skill development, right? Because coaches are actually coaching during that particular time, right? They're actually putting in their system. So athletes may not improve during the actual season, right? And in fact, they may fall off. And in the development they should understand the principles, they should understand footwork, and they should understand proper technique, right? Those three things are key for development. And so brings us to today. I got a lot of feedback, a lot of emails, a lot of DMs even a couple phone calls like, okay, so how do we change that? How do we fix that? This is great information. I needed that today. So how do we fix it? So that's what we're going to do today. That's how we're going to fix it, right? So we are going to fix it today, right? I'm going to show you how to fix it. So we got Coach Carpenter, the legend himself, Mark Carpenter. All right, this guy, from a coaching standpoint, 20 wins. From a coaching standpoint, we all look for 20 wins. On the college level, we look for 20 wins. Coach Mark Carpenter was able to help a coach get 30 wins back-to-back seasons, 30 wins. Hall of Fame guy, right? You should definitely know Coach Mark Carpenter. That's my man. And I'm pretty sure the Carp will understand this as well, right? Okay, Lisa, you still can't hear me? Can y'all hear me? I'm not sure what's going on. I guess. Okay. All right. Okay. So y'all can hear me. So at what point? Okay. So all right, so I tell y'all what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna click out of this and I'm gonna come back and we're gonna start all over. All right, without the intro, none of that. I'm gonna click out of this. I'm gonna end this broadcast, right? And I'm gonna trash this broadcast, and we gonna get it back on, right? So Carp said the sound went back, right? So listen, if you're watching this, I'm about to end this, and then I'm about to come back on, and we're gonna start it fresh. Because I don't know what's going on, why they don't want it to get out, but I'm gonna make sure that y'all get this work today.